Hi everyone, Kelly Mahler, occupational therapist, and we're going to talk about best practices for implementing an interoception-based approach. Before we get to the best practices, first, what is an interoception-based approach? And it's all about, as the name implies, it's all about that eighth sense called interoception. And interoception, one of its most important jobs is to give us important information about how we are feeling in any given minute. Those important body signals coming from within are very important clues to exactly how we're feeling. And that information, that interoceptive information, is what empowers us with the knowledge to know what to do to take care of our bodies, to promote that comfort within our bodies. And so developing that inner curiosity in our clients, helping them to discover their own inner sensations and what those sensations mean uniquely to them is incredibly important. So this interoception-based approach, whenever you're supporting the self-regulation needs in your clients, is vital. So the first three best practices happen before. They need to be put in place before we start nurturing that inner curiosity, before we start inviting our learners to start tuning within and noticing the way their bodies are feeling. So best practice number one is all about promoting feelings of regulation and safety within our learners. And this is done via co-regulation. So we, as the supporters, as the caregivers, are offering co-regulation supports. Things that promote regulation, things that promote felt safety within that person's body, and also considering the world around each learner and helping to adapt that environment to promote feelings of regulation and safety. If a person is feeling regulated, if they're feeling safe in their environments, they are going to have more attentional resources to pay attention to within, to want to shift their attention within. So best practice number two is all about trauma-informed care. And if you are going to be implementing an interoception-based approach, you also need to be very knowledgeable in trauma and trauma-informed care. The two approaches go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Interoception-based and a trauma-informed approach are very reliant on each other, and the success of each approach is reliant on each other. Best practice number three is all about establishing a mutual relationship with the learner. It's our primary job to help our learners to feel safe with us. Building a relationship that is not where one person is in power and dominating over the learner. It is a mutual relationship, alliance, where we are genuinely connecting with our learner. If our learner feels safe with us, they will be more apt to feel safe enough to move forward into deeper interoception-based work. So now you have the first three foundational best practices in place. What do you do next? So best practice number four is all about how we are delivering interoception-based supports. And interoception-based supports are always offered as an invitation to participate. We are never presenting them as a demand that they must complete in order to earn a reinforcer. Giving someone the choice and the autonomy over their body is extremely crucial to interoception growth, for that person to feel like they have control over the way their body feels and what their body needs is essential for them to begin to grow in their interoception journey. And so we need to present these supports in an invitation. And if that learner doesn't feel like participating, then we need to think about what do we need to do as the supporters to adapt our approach, to adapt what we are doing in order to promote that learner's success. Maybe we need to go back to the three best practices, the three foundational best practices. Maybe that learner needs more co-regulation. Maybe they need us to develop a stronger therapeutic mutual alliance with them so that they are feeling safe in their bodies and they're feeling safe with us in order to take that next step and start using some of the interoception-based supports. So best practice number 5 is all about being curious and really shifting away from a place where we are assuming that we understand someone's experience. Somewhere along the line, we were taught, like in the field of mental health or the field of education, someone told us, we should label each learner's emotion. We should label what we think their experience is. That's really helpful to do. So we come in, we're like, wow, you look really frustrated right now, or geez, that must have made you feel really sad. So those labels are our assumptions on what that person is experiencing, and what we know from a lot of people is many times what we assume is completely opposite of what their true experience is. So we need to just be more curious and step back and use a curiosity approach. And of course, it looks different for each client, but whenever possible, asking questions, gaining more insight, gaining more understanding into the deep experiences of each person, asking them, like, how does that make you feel right now? Or I see that you just are squeezing your hands right now. How are you feeling? So nurturing that curiosity instead of us labeling what it is that we assume to be. So best practice number 6 is to honor each person's unique inner experience. This work is not about helping someone to get a more typical interoception experience, or it is it's not an approach designed for fixing deficits. Each of us have such a vastly different inner experience. So what your body feels like when you're hungry is different than what my body feels like when I'm hungry. And we are both right and valid in our experience. So we are setting up a process of nurturing that self-understanding, helping each of our learners to discover their own inner experience. And so we need to honor and validate the vast uniqueness between all of us and really celebrate that out loud in explicit ways for our learners. Going along with that, best practice number 7 is accepting all answers that we hear. So when we're using interoception-based supports, maybe we're doing something fun that evokes a feeling in a body, and we're inviting someone to tune in and notice the way that activity is making their hands feel or their feet feel. It might be completely against what we expect that activity to evoke, what sensation it might evoke in a learner, but we need to keep in mind that we're also very different in our inner experiences, and so we accept and validate all answers that we hear. And if you hear something that is a surprise to you, ask questions. Can you tell me more about that? You said your body felt wiggly. Can you tell me more about that experience? You might gain an important insight that allows you to get one step closer to understanding that person's inner experience. So the next best practice is all about adapting interoception-based work to keep it in line with what you know works best for each learner. We hear a question all the time: can you use interoception-based work with, say, learners that might have cognitive delays? Can you use this work with people that have developmental delays? Can you use this work with people that are non-speakers? Can you use this work with people that are older? Can you use it with kids that are younger? The answer is yes. Just really consider everything else that you offer to that learner and what works. How do you successfully support that learner? What do they need to successfully participate? And use whatever you know and adapt the interoception-based work within those parameters. So for example, if you know that visual supports are a really powerful tool for your learner, then everything that you do with interoception-based work should be presented and supported by visuals. If you know that a learner does really well when you incorporate their favorite character into the supports you provide, then everything you do with interoception-based support should involve their favorite character. If you know that a person does really well with lots of repetition, then please use lots of repetition when you are offering interoception-based work. So you can really adapt this work. Just think about, what do you do to promote success with that learner, and then use whatever that is when you are incorporating interoception-based supports. So the final best practice is all about being playful and doing this work with the learner, not to the learner. So I invite you all to have fun in this interception-based work, to try the interception activities together, to notice and learn more about your body signals with the learner, to share your differences in your experiences, and to, most of all, have fun. Until next time.